set, hut.
As the hills of West Virginia resound with the sound of Golden Blue football.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
Now let's bring on the Mountaineers. Goes around about the 50, the 10, the 5. A touchdown, West Virginia. He did it.
He did it. Patrick White. Touchdown, Tay Von Austin.
The Don Nehlen's Mountaineers enjoy walking in where angels fear to tread.
I think you think that these guys are going to fall over dead for you. Well, I got news for you. They're going to punch you right in the mouth. It's Mountaineer pride!
Nothing cheap, nothing dirty, but West Virginia football. West Virginia football.
Leave no doubt tonight they shouldn't have played the old Golden Blue. Not this night!
They've done it. They've done it. A perfect season. And the Mountaineers, for the first time in history, undefeated and untied.
Don Nehlen and his Mountaineers, for the second time, have finished a regular season with an unblemished mark.
Ain't no stopping the Golden Blue.
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome into another live stream here on the Country Roads webcast channel, March 20th edition, as we continue to try and cover the West Virginia coaching search here on the basketball side as it continues on. Told you guys, try and update you daily if I can. Not a ton of developments today, but I do believe we have a couple of front runners for the gig that seem like they're out ahead of some of the other candidates that we mentioned in the previous stream. So I want to touch on that here. Hopefully you guys had a chance earlier. I did a guest spot with Mountaineer Paul there, Locked On West Virginia, and we talked about this briefly there, but wanted to come here tonight. Now, I won't keep you guys too long, coming a little bit later than I usually do, of course, and I got to work tomorrow. Some of you guys might have to as well, but wanted to at least give you guys an update on where things stand with this coaching search. So that's what we'll do, and try and be brief as possible, but do appreciate everybody that's coming in here live, whether you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. If you're on Facebook or Twitch, be sure to hop over to the Country Roads Webcast YouTube, subscribe to us there so you can get access to the pre-recorded video and podcast episodes as well. And if you're on YouTube, whether you're watching live or on a playback, you can help us out a ton just by hitting that thumbs up button and subscribing to the channel. So see a lot of you guys in here talking brackets and such. I know we had some bracket busting games early on. I think that a lot of people expected Louisville to beat Creighton. That hurt a lot of people. McNeese taking down Clemson. That hurt my bracket a little bit as well. I see some people saying that. Channel members in here. What's going on? Shaq saying Clemson and Kansas screwed up his bracket today. Mountaineer Athletes channel member in here. See you. What's going on, man? Matt Dix, my guy. Good to see you in here again as always as well. Appreciate everybody that's hopping in here. Trey Edwards, channel member. Good to see you as well. But nonetheless, man, I was going to give people a couple minutes to roll in here before we dive into the update. So that's a good question there, Matt. I'll check that out really quickly, actually. He asked, how's everyone doing in the brackets? The CRW Bracket Challenge, which, of course, the winner gets 2 free months of Almost Heaven membership here to the YouTube channel. So let's do that. Let me pull that up real quick on my phone, and I'm going to see where the standings are, see who's in first place. I don't know how I'm doing in this one. Yeah, Texas A&M hurt me. I picked Yale, man. I thought Yale was going to win that game, and Texas A&M, played better than I expected. I guess I never give Buzz Williams any credit. I'm not the biggest fan of Buzz Williams, but Texas A&M played better than I expected them to. They did get a lot of calls, Matt. They did get a lot of calls, though, for sure. I did pick Drake, too, though, so that's nice. Let's see. Let me pull up the group here on my phone. We'll see how we're standing. I'm in 8th place currently, according to my app. Let's see who's up here. We got a couple tied for first. We got Mountaineers report, and I believe Big Dan T. Big Dan T's tied for first, I think, there as well. Steven up there in the rankings, too, co-host here at the CRW. Shaq, you're tied for second or as well, it looks like. So, nice. I appreciate everybody getting in there. We had over 20 people in the bracket group this year, which is nice. That's nice little turnout, especially when I kind of did it on short notice. But all right, we've got about 5 minutes in here now. I think we got people rolling in. So let's get to the update. Let's talk a bit about this. What the main portion of the update that I got this morning was someone had sent me. You guys probably know Trilly Donovan, a known college basketball insider. Pretty much anything that he says, he's pretty accurate on when it comes to the college basketball world. And he has a Discord, I think, that's like a private thing where he shares, intel on coaching searches and what have you. And someone sent me a screenshot from Trilly Donovan's Discord talking a bit about WVU and some candidates, sent it to my friend Mountaineer Paul, and I had him verify with his sources, and he was able to confirm this as well. So definitely what we know is that Ren Baker is pushing hard to get Ben McCollum. Iowa was really in play a lot for Ben McCollum. People were thinking that he was going there. You guys heard me on the last stream talking about Iowa's reporters saying that, there was a lot of smoke between Iowa and Ben McCollum. But that was one of the first things that came to my mind in Ren Baker's press conference when he was talking about maybe getting this wrapped up quickly and having some candidates in mind that would be able to help him do that. Ben McCollum was the first one that popped into my head due to their prior relationship back at the D2 level. Ren Baker hired him there at that school. And, of course, Ben McCollum has the great success at the D2 level. If you don't know, 394 wins and only 91 losses. He won 5 National Coach of the Year awards and 4 national championships. Now finally in Division I this year, wins 30 games at Drake and just knocked off Missouri, an SEC team, in the first round of the NCAA tournament as well. So Ben McCollum, by far my favorite candidate for this job. So to hear that Ren Baker's making a strong push for Ben McCollum really excites me. Trilly Donovan said it was a super interesting situation playing out at WVU. Ren trying to steal Ben away from Iowa, wants him badly. Iowa may have an upper hand because they've been negotiating with him a little bit longer, and it's his home place there. But West Virginia has the upper hand on being able to offer him more money, being able to offer him a better assets for NIL to be able to build a roster with. And, of course, Ren Baker's prior relationship may give us a bit of an in there as well. Trilly Donovan also reported that Ren has concerns with Jared Calhoun because of the whole Huggins connection. He's not sure about mending the bridge and letting Huggins back into the picture, even though he feels like Calhoun may stay a little while. But from what I've been able to gather from that report and some others that I've seen going around, is it definitely seems like to me those are your two front runners right now. And of course, this is always subject to change, can change, by the minute, by the hour, by the day. That's why I'm going to try and come back and chat with you guys each night or at least once a day to update you on what's going on with this coaching search, because I feel like this is one that's going to wrap up pretty quickly, but also, it can change in an instant. But for right now, I feel pretty confident saying that Ben McCollum is probably 1A and Jared Calhoun's probably 1B as far as the two front runners for the West Virginia job. Not to say that there aren't others that are still in the mix, of course, and like I said, it's a very fluid situation. But I think that right now, those are the front runners in my opinion. Also, what I can tell you that has been confirmed as well is that Jared Calhoun is also a target at Iowa. So it seems like Iowa and West Virginia kind of have the same top two targets right now, which likely means one will end up with one and one will end up with the other. But Jared Calhoun has already interviewed 2 times at Iowa, according to reports from the Iowa 247 site. So, maybe that means that they're focusing in more on Calhoun because they feel like West Virginia is making a strong push for McCollum, and maybe he's starting to lean towards WVU. I don't know. Pure speculation on that side of things. That's what I'm hoping, because personally I would prefer Ben McCollum. He's by far my favorite candidate. I don't dislike the aspect of getting Jared Calhoun. I think there's a lot of good things, to him as well. I mentioned Ben McCollum's resume. Let me go a little bit over some impressive things from Calhoun's resume as well, since I talked a bit about Ben McCollum, which Ben McCollum with the 5 National Coach of the Year awards and 4 natties blows pretty much any other resume out of the water, even though that was at the D2 level. But now he's more than shown he can do it at the D1 level with what he's doing this year, his first year at Drake, and like we said, just knocked off an SEC team. But Jared Calhoun's had a great amount of success as well. Took Fairmont State to the Division II title game. I took a historically bad Youngstown State team to a conference championship and 2 straight 20-plus win seasons. And he has 26 wins year 1 at Utah State. They're currently playing right now against UCLA. And of course, the ties to West Virginia probably makes him one of the more stable options, I guess, that would probably stay here for, long term, I guess you could say. He would be more likely to do that anyway. But the thing that makes me feel like Ren Baker is definitely going for Ben McCollum first. And personally, I think if we end up with Calhoun, it's probably because we swung and missed on Ben McCollum. But a couple of things. Number one is one thing that Ren Baker's talked about prioritizing with these coaching searches, especially in the basketball side, is someone that's really, has a strong defense, a defensive minded, if you will. And Ben McCollum's team's defense are far better than Jared Calhoun. Jared Calhoun, that's been the one knock on him throughout his career, is his team's defenses have never really performed all that great. He made some improvements in that area this year, utilizing a bit of a matchup zone defense. But thus far, UCLA is doing a good job picking that apart in the tournament. We can't judge this on one game here in the tournament for either of these guys, but I do think Ben McCollum's defensive prowess is a little bit better than that of Jared Calhoun. So obviously, I think Ren Baker would probably favor him in that aspect. I think the resume is a little bit better. And then, of course, the connection is there for Ren Baker with McCollum more so than it is with Calhoun. Although Calhoun has the connection to the state of West Virginia, him and Ren Baker, I don't know how well they know each other, but we know that Ren Baker and Ben McCollum have a great relationship and know each other very well. So I feel like Ren Baker is really making a strong push for Ben McCollum. It's been confirmed from multiple sources now that West Virginia is swinging for the fences and really trying to outbid Iowa and get Ben McCollum to come to Morgantown. So I hope that ends up happening, but that's kind of where we stand right now. The other names that we talked about in the last search, probably still in the mix, but I think right now you're looking at Ben McCollum and Calhoun as the front runners, in my opinion. So that's pretty much the big update I had. I just want to catch up on some of your all's comments as well, and then we'll call this one a stream before too long. Like I said, wanted to keep this one brief, but did want to come give you guys an update on where things stand currently according to multiple reports that I've been able to confirm now via some of the people that I talked to, and of course some college basketball insiders as well. So that's the way things are looking, and it's very exciting news as far as I'm concerned, because you guys heard me say, from the beginning, my top guys were Will Wade and Ben McCollum, and then, kind of a large gap in everybody else. Will Wade, of course, believed to be going to NC State. That's all but, official now. They pulled the upset of Clemson today. So Ben McCollum, to me, is the top remaining candidate. A lot of jobs probably gunning for him. Iowa being one, of course, with it being his home place. But we have other jobs open that we've talked about in the past, and it looks like Texas is about to come open as well. Who knows who they will target, as it looks like they'll fire Rodney Terry. But West Virginia very much targeting Ben McCollum and Jared Calhoun seem to be the front runners right now at this time. So let's see here. Let me catch up on some comments here, if I can see where I was at here. Where was I at? There we go. Linda Skidmore says, I think Odom might be the guy. If UVA was going to hire him, they would have already. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, but I don't know, because they just played today, so they could very well hire him tomorrow. I know that's been rumored. Is Odom in Virginia, Nico Medved in Minnesota has been rumored as well, which are both guys that were on the West Virginia hot board. But despite the fact of Medved rumored to Minnesota and Odom rumored to UVA, I still think that they were not necessarily ahead of the targets that we're talking about here. I think that Ren Baker right away probably gave a call to Ben McCollum as soon as he learned about this Darian DeVries news, because I think if it wasn't for Ben McCollum lacking experience last year, he would have been a very serious candidate even last year. But now that he has the D1 experience, and you can say, hey, he's proven he can do it at this level, Ren Baker can definitely go out and target him, as other power conference programs are doing as well. So I think that Ryan Odom was a little bit further down the list. Maybe same can be said about Nico Medved and others, but they are still very much on the list. But they could be taken off the board. That's something that we'll continue to do in these updates, as other guys go to other programs, give you all updates on crossing names off the list, so to speak, which it's a very long list right now, but I do believe there's a couple of guys out in front, as we're talking about here on this stream for sure. Matt Dick says Iowa's going after McCollum for sure. He's from Iowa, and that's his dream job, but I'll take McCollum over Calhoun then. Fine with me. He will leave in 1 year, but I like him. I'm not convinced that McCollum would leave after 1 year, to be honest, especially if he was to pick WVU over Iowa, because then he's already, chosen WVU over, his home school, from where he's from there. So I think that would probably bode well for us. And West Virginia, as I said, has more money to offer McCollum than Iowa does, has a better NIL situation than Iowa does, but Iowa does have, the fact that it is his home going for them, and they were in on him before West Virginia was. They've been pushing for Ben McCollum for a while now, but West Virginia's now thrown their hat into the ring, and we'll see what happens. David Mountaineer with Kenny says, who was the front runner? It's tough to say right now between the two. I think that Ben McCollum is the preference, just being honest with you. Pure speculation on that, but I feel like that's definitely Wren Baker's guy if he can get him, is Ben McCollum. I think Jared Calhoun definitely has interest as well, but Calhoun is also already interviewed twice with Iowa. That came out today from the Iowa site. So, I think both Iowa and West Virginia have the same top two candidates right now, but I would say McCollum is the front runner in my opinion. Odom is the coach of VCU, Matt Dix, that lost today. He was also the coach of UMBC when they beat Virginia a couple years ago before he went to VCU. I talked about him in the last stream when I went down the long list of coaches when we went over the hot boards from multiple sites. Like I said, he's on the list, but further down the list for sure. Hey, thanks for following on Twitch there, James Weekly. Yeah, not a ton of content up on Twitch, but do try and put the live streams up on both Facebook and Twitch in addition to YouTube. Eric Flower says, we got $6 million freed up. We can afford someone and have NIL money. Save the squad. Yeah, as Wren Baker said, quite possibly the largest buyout for a basketball coach in NCAA history. According to people that he's talked to, he hasn't heard of one higher. So, we're getting gifted that from Indiana, which is nice, and it's going to help us in the long run for sure. Oh, GG at the pro day today, James Weekly. Yeah, I saw that. Working out at receiver, I think he ran a 4.5, and he looks smooth running routes, actually. I think that he could be one that makes a transition, has success with that. We've seen, Ryan Tannehill do that in the past, Julian Edelman, on down the list, and, he could be the next one. I wouldn't be surprised to see him end up on a roster and then hopefully, can make a 53-man roster when it comes down to cut day. We'll see what happens, but, I like the move for him. That's definitely his best path to potentially get playing time in the NFL or, get a shot at being a pro for sure. Eric says he hit a 5-team parlay last night. Wasn't much, but nice. Needed some cash. Got to take a class in Nashville in a couple weeks, then an exam in Roanoke. Need some spending money. Hey, well, hopefully you hit a couple more then, Eric. I hope you do, man. Glad to hear you hit the 5-team parlay, though. That's nice. That's nice. I had a little parlay in today, but when Clemson lost, that kind of killed it for me. So I might throw another one in tomorrow and see if I can have better luck on the Friday games. We'll see what happens. Nah, he switched to receiver, Matt Dix, to try and go play receiver in the NFL, and of course in the Big 12 Pro Day today. Worked out there. The WVU football account put up a video. I'll try and share it here in a second. But yeah, he looked pretty smooth running some routes for sure. Curtis D316 says WVU needs to go all out for McCollum. Hey, well, I got good news for you, Curtis D. Seems like we are indeed doing just that. Wren Baker swinging for the fences, being super aggressive, trying to, outbid Iowa, really give McCollum a sweet deal and lure him to WVU. And I got faith in Wren that he's going to be able to do that. And I got my fingers crossed that it can happen. Iowa may have had a leg out in front and getting a jump start and getting in on him first, but West Virginia's making a big push right now, according to, Trilly Donovan, other college basketball insiders, and even the Iowa site themselves have confirmed. Jared Calhoun's also interviewed with Iowa as well. So seems like both of those guys are targets for both programs, but definitely making a huge push for McCollum, which is big, I think, Curtis D316. Okay. So let me pull that video up since you guys brought it up there. I appreciate that. James Weekly, you bringing that up. Let's share this video of some of the pro day action, just a little 40-second video they shared. You guys can see GG running some routes and some of the other guys, of course, working out at the pro day really quickly. And then I won't keep you guys too much longer. I'll answer some of your questions if you guys got any more, and then we'll call it a stream. Like I said, it won't be a lengthy one. Just wanted to give you guys the update on the coaching search. Not a ton of developments today, but still some interesting things that Ren Baker is definitely targeting Ben McCollum in a big way, which is huge news in my opinion, because that was my favorite target that was remaining once Will Wade was off the board. So I'm excited about that. But let's take a look at the Big 12 Pro Day today.
Garrett Green here, Big 12 Pro Day. Super excited to be here. Already go put some numbers and run a show.
All right, so there's a little bit of a look at some of the Pro Day participants for the Mountaineers during the Big 12 Pro Day today. You get to see Garrett Green working at receiver for the first time there, catching some passes, running some crisp routes, and I believe I saw that he ran a 4.5 on the 40-yard dash there, unofficial, but pretty quick. And I think we'll see if he gets a chance, and hopefully we'll hear some other Mountaineers names called. I'm sure we'll hear Wyatt Milam in the first 2 or 3 rounds probably, and then maybe get to see some other Mountaineers drafted as well, with the draft coming up next month, I believe, actually coming up on us quick. But appreciate you guys mentioning that. I did want to share that. But other than that, let me catch up on some of your all's comments, and then I'll do a quick recap, and then we will call it a stream. Let you guys get out here, watch some of these final games of the night on the first day of the tournament, and won't keep you guys since coming at you a little bit later tonight. Curtis D316 says that $6 million buyout is going to help a lot. Indeed, it for sure is, Curtis. That's going to help us in multiple areas. It depends on how they want to disperse that out. I know Ren Baker was joking in his press conference that all kinds of different sports programs were calling him, asking if they could get a chunk of that $6 million buyout. So, but it's going to help West Virginia athletics for sure. That's the main thing. Hey, Big Dan T, good to see you, man. Appreciate you as always. Yeah, I did a little bracket update earlier on the CRW group. You're actually tied for first right now after the first day, I think, currently. So, yeah, you're balling right now, Big Dan T. You're balling, brother. Matt Dick says, one thing's for sure, with as much money as we have, WVU can definitely sign someone, and their contract will be too high to buy out. Yeah, hopefully we do that a little bit. I know Ren Baker did say in his press conference he doesn't want to ever have someone just feel like they're sticking around only because their buyout is so high, because he wants coaches that want to be here, which I 100% understand that take by him. But also, hey, we can raise it just a little bit and maybe not have to deal with a one and done again. But I think that the good thing is with both these two guys that are believed to be the front runners right now, at this time, like I said, fluid, could change by the time this stream's done, could change by the time I come back and chat with you guys again tomorrow. But I think both of these guys would not be one and dones. I think they would both stay for a decent amount of time. Calhoun with the West Virginia ties, and Ben McCollum, if we're able to get him, we're getting him away from Iowa. I know he's at Drake now, but Iowa's, really working hard on him, and it was kind of previously reported that there was a lot of smoke that he may be going to Iowa once Drake's out of the tournament. So if West Virginia is able to lure him away, that's his home state, where he's from, and if you're able to steal him away from his home, then if anyone else comes calling, you would realistically think you'd be able to fend them off as well. So I feel good about both of these two guys if West Virginia is able to nab either one of them. We'll see how it ends up falling, but definitely have enough money to do some things with for sure. Let's see. Curtis says he has one bracket with only one missed pick so far. Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. I think I might have one that's similar to that. I'm first place in one of the money pools that I'm in right now. I'm tied for first, so hey, that's big. That's what matters, right? But we'll see. I think that my one in the CRW group I think I'm about middle of the pack there. Not doing too shabby. I think I said, I was 8th, and we got, I think, 22 or 23 people in there. So hey, I'm in the top half. I'll take it. W Mountaineer with Kenny says, make it a 4-year contract and the buyout would be high. Yeah, I would assume it'd be a 4 or 5-year contract probably. We'll see what they do salary-wise, though, but I definitely think that we've got enough money that Ren Baker can certainly sweeten the pot, and we can definitely offer, Ben McCollum more money than Iowa can. That's one thing that we have going in our corner, and our NIL situation is in a much better place than theirs. So, hopefully that, accompanied with Ren Baker's history with Ben McCollum, we've got a puncher's chance here. We'll see how it shakes out. As Shirley Donovan said in the statement I was talking about earlier, it's going to be an interesting next 24 to 48 hours to see how this pans out with these searches at West Virginia and Iowa, as they kind of are kind of crossing a little bit. As Iowa's interviewed Calhoun twice. They've already been going after McCollum for a while now. West Virginia's going after McCollum hard, and Calhoun's believed to be a big contender at WVU as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out for sure. Tim Green says, "Let's go Mountaineers. I hope we can find the best coach possible." Hey, that's right, Tim. Well said, my friend. Well said. Yeah, Matt, I did. I haven't covered that yet. I do need to discuss that a little bit. Have to get that prepped, and maybe on tomorrow's stream I'll try and get that pulled up and stuff, because I need to update the recruiting tracker and such. But yeah, Jaleel Hall, a receiver that was believed to come in over the summer, one of the recruits that wasn't an early enrollee. He was, I think, our highest rated receiver recruit, a 4-star. Not going to be enrolling, which, some of those guys you can understand why they'd want to change their mind. They were recruited by the previous staff, so I do get that. And West Virginia is going to be okay at receiver. I think we've got plenty of guys, including, Cam Vaughn, who just came over from Jack State, who's really talented, and I think we'll maybe even go out and get a couple more in the portal. Hate to lose a guy that's highly rated, but, also understand it in both aspects, especially West Virginia having to, cut down the roster as well. So it doesn't necessarily hurt as bad as it would if, our receiver room was completely depleted, and if also we didn't need to make some cuts already, for sure. Let's see. I think we can fend off McCollum to Michigan State. Matt Dix asks, Izzo will retire in 4 years or less. Hey, if Michigan State comes calling in 4 years, let's say it is 4 years, and we do hire McCollum and Michigan State comes calling, then we must be having a pretty successful 4 years with Ben McCollum. And if we get a good 4 years, some deep tourney runs or something, let bygones be bygones, and, it is what it is, and we'll go out and hire another new coach if we can't fend him off. But we'll see what happens. Who knows? Izzo might have another 5 to 10 years in him or something, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's something to worry about in the future. I hope that first things first, right now in the present, we are able to lock down Ben McCollum. I would be ecstatic with that move for sure. Eric Flower says, wasn't upset about the DD thing to Indiana. Understand a huge money difference, but the backdoor shit, I'm not. But the 4 and 5 guys we were looking at, I'm thinking we will be fine. Yeah, same here. I like several of the names we're looking at, and I trust Ren Baker to make a great decision. He's done great on hires in the past, and I completely agree with your comment there, Eric. I shared some similar sentiments on last night's stream and on the Locked On West Virginia show earlier today. I understand wanting to, upgrade your salary. I understand wanting to go to what is traditionally a basketball blue blood, although West Virginia has had more success in the past 20 years, which is something that we've talked about. But what I do not understand and will not support is the way that you do it. And that the way and the manner in which you exit says a lot about a person's character, and the way that he didn't notify the players, didn't notify the assistant coaches, left like a thief in the middle of the night. That's just the cowardly way to do it. And I think now, looking back on it in hindsight, you don't want that guy with that type of character probably leading your young man at your university anyway, just being honest with you. So I agree with you there, man. Exactly, Matt Dix. The way DeVries left was pathetic, for sure. A little bit of a snake in the grass is what I've been saying since then. Hey, Silas, good to see you, man. I ain't seen you in a while. So many coaching searches. Make it stop. Hey, I think that this one will be a quick one, at least. It seems like this one's going to wrap up in pretty quick fashion. We'll see what happens. I mean, Drake did win, so if it is McCollum, we might have to wait through the weekend, but I don't think we'll be waiting longer than a week and a half, personally. And also, Will Wade has shown that there is a precedent to maybe even saying, hey, I'm going to take this job before your season's over, because, Will Wade's already pretty much announced that he's going to take the NC State job, and McNeese is still playing. They beat Clemson today, so you never know what could happen, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. I think we're all caught up here. But that's pretty much all I had, guys. Just to recap, in case you guys popped in late. If you did, hopefully you go back and rewatch it on the playback. Rewind it and catch it from the beginning. But regardless, what we went over was basically still a lot of names on the list. Very fluid situation, could change at any moment. But I think, from reading the tea leaves, I feel like that the two front runners right now seem to be Ben McCollum and Jared Calhoun, which is interesting because it seems like they may be the front runners at Iowa as well. McCollum, of course, long been rumored there. Today, Iowa's 247 site reported that Jared Calhoun's interviewed twice at Iowa already. So it seems like, we're battling it out for similar guys. But I think that West Virginia has a good chance at Ben McCollum because of Wren Baker's history with him and the fact that West Virginia can offer more money, has a better NIL situation than Iowa. But Iowa is home for McCollum. They do have that going for them as well. But we'll see how it plays out. I think that Wren Baker really wants Ben McCollum, and Wren Baker's a guy that will put all his cards in. He'll go all in to try and get this done for West Virginia, which is awesome. That's the athletic director we want going to bat for us. But if anything changes, I'll be back tomorrow. If any other news comes out, I'll be back tomorrow. And I'm planning on being back tomorrow to chat with you guys more about this search and maybe talk some other things as well. But really appreciate you guys tuning into this one. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitch live, be sure to come over to the YouTube channel and subscribe here if you haven't already. But regardless, if you're watching on YouTube live or on the playback, be sure to hit the thumbs up button before you head out. Really helps a ton with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to stay up to date with what's going on with this coaching search, and of course all the happenings around the Mountaineer football program as we push forward, looking ahead to the Rich Rod 2.0 era here in 2025. If you didn't get a chance to chat with us live, share your thoughts there in the comments. Appreciate those interactions as well, and I'll respond to you in text form. Looking forward to chatting with you guys again tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have some more news on this coaching search, as hopefully it's one that appears like it's going to wrap up quickly. I like the lead candidates. Let's hope Wren Baker can lock it down. But regardless, in Wren we trust. He's going to get the right guy for the job, and West Virginia will have better days on the horizon after what's been, a tumultuous week. Things are going to settle, and we're going to have brighter days ahead of us, guys, and I can't wait to get to those. Appreciate you guys tuning into this one. As always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.